Alright, so what we're going to show you today is how to cut the hole in a wood cabinet. Besides the specialty tools, Bosch router, standard drill, jigsaw, a screwdriver to install a template. We have our special template for wood. Wood template has our part number on it, and you want to install it how it's so that you can read the writing. So the first thing we've already done is we've measured the cart height, put that number on here, and we go ahead and mark the center line where it's going to be. So we go ahead and take our screwdriver, go ahead and put it through the center hole. We go ahead and put it right on that crosshair, and our template is installed. Go ahead and take the level, see that, make sure that we're level. Once you've done a few of these, you can make sure visually first and put it on there, or even just do it visually when you're done a few of these. So we maintain our level. So now that we've got the template installed on there, the next thing we want to do is do the pilot hole. On the template it tells you right where to put it. We use a 7/8 inch bit. You can use 5/8 to 7/8. You can use spade bits, round bits. So before we drill the pilot hole, we want to go ahead and check the back side. And so what we do is we go in here and we make sure there's no obstructions of any kind, cabinets. Sometimes we'll put a piece of paper in. If there are cables, that keeps the router bit from cutting any of the cables, and it also helps minimize the dust. So now we're ready to go ahead and cut the pilot hole. We make sure this is right in this upper corner here. Just kind of make sure it's nice and slow. And that's our pilot hole. And the next step is routing. So when we place the router on here, we want to make sure it's flat, and we go ahead and route holding it against this outer edge. That will give us the outside hole cut. So we take a router, we hook up dust collection to help. It doesn't keep all the dust down, but it keeps a lot of the fine particulate out of the air and makes it easier to clean up when you're done. So we have it hooked up to an automatic dust collector. First thing we do is position ourselves so we can route the whole thing in one pass without moving our body position. Make sure you know where the switch is. And always make sure that when you put the router in or pull it out, that the router is stopped. You will break a bit or possibly get hurt. So you want to make sure that everything is sitting flat, and you push it up this way. I'll start the router, then I'm going to bring it over, route all the way around to the edge, turn it off, and pull it out. So again, always make sure the router's stopped before you pull it out. So that's the first part of cutting the hole. We'll clean up a little bit here first. So for cleaning up, any good shop vac will do. I use this one because it travels with me everywhere. So we're going to go ahead and pull the template off. So as you can see, we've got that small remnant to remove. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and mark it. And one of the reasons, if you see here, why we make sure that we put the pilot hole as far up to the corner, so when we cut this off we have a nice straight line. If you don't, you'll get a little cutout over to the side that could interfere with or stick outside the frame of the camera when it's installed. we just take a standard jigsaw. This one uses a blade that cuts down, so it leaves a nice finish on the formica here. Stop it, or pull it out when it's not running. And now we have one nice clean hole. And we'll go ahead and clean this up, and then we'll show you how to install the camera. First thing we're going to do is get the camera oriented right. So you've got the blue LED lighting in it. It will always be to your left when you install a camera. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take the network connection, find the biscuit, run the cable through, plug it into the biscuit jack, plug it into the back of the camera. That's the first step. We're going to do the same thing for the power supply. Run the low voltage connector through the cabinet. Get it plugged into the camera. And this is the brick. Always make sure that this AC part is fully seated in there. And we're going to plug it in inside. It can be clean power, regular power. Just make sure it's not switched power. No matter what they do, they don't switch it on. You'll get a power indication, and then you're going to watch for what we call the kit card. You're going to see the LED go ahead and start to cycle from right to left a few times. Once it does that, that's what they call the power on self test. That means the camera is basically functioning. So it'll go ahead and stop. Then we're ready to install the camera. So you want to make sure these lay flat. You rotate up. You're going to have to hold these flat. Go ahead and put them in. Clear all the cables, make sure they pass through. And that's the camera. Then we're going to go ahead and tighten this up. It takes a Torx T15 bit, about 15 to 20 inch-pounds. Do a bottom one, top one, and that's how you put a camera in. A lot of me. Okay, so you broke a router bit. We're going to teach you here how to change a router bit quickly and efficiently. We got some tooling, a special process. You've got a little piece here that helps you set the bit to the right depth. Thing to note, these are special bits. These are 3 inches long. They're not your typical Home Depot bits. It gives you a little extra bit. This is how much is put in the collet when you do it. We have a little tool that helps us set the depth of the bit. So one of the things we do once we figured out we broke it, pull the router completely apart. Make sure we remove power before we do anything. Go ahead and put the wrench on it. It's a little bit difficult. These things are torqued on there pretty hard, as they should be to ensure they don't come out. Go ahead and pull this completely off to get a broken bit out. Pull part of it out. But it leaves another piece in here. You want to be sure you get that out. So now we're going to go ahead and put it back together. So get this hand started. It's pretty quick when you learn the process. So this, go ahead and get it set in. Don't let it fall all the way down. If you've used these a lot, they do get a little loose. It's really important to get these things tight. proper depth. So we go ahead and put our base back on. This thing should just about be there, just off by a fraction. And now we're ready to go. That's how you change a bit for the router. It's pretty quick and easy with this system. And you're back in business.